Hey everybody, how you doing? It's your man Phil Williams Show. Man, how you guys doing today? Peace be with you. Man, I just having a great day today. It's a real great, good day today. A lot of different things spinning around in this little in between the ears thing I got going on over here called a head, and a lot of things are getting in my spirit too. And I just wanted to take this time to share it with you guys. Thank you guys for coming today. What's up, Robert? What's that? Cedar Strand. How you doing, Robert? Thanks for joining the show. Man, who's that? Deb Hawkins. How you doing, Deb? If you guys are first time watching the Phil Williams Show, I am Phil Williams, and this is that place where I try to make things easy to understand, but hard to swallow. How you doing, Thor Wilkerson? Just welcome. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please share this with your friends. Share me with your friends. I think you'll kind of like it. I'm a straight shooter. I'm going to share with you what's on my heart. What's up, Gary Evans? Joseph Smith. How you doing, Joseph? Thanks for the support, man. Thanks for the support. Orrin Checkmate Hudson. Man, big event coming up with Orrin in March. We're going to be there. Andrew Bonaparte. How you doing? But yeah, Orrin Hudson, man, you guys got to find besomeone.org. Go there and support what he's doing. He is a chess grandmaster that uses the game of chess to encourage young people to think ahead. Think 3 or 4 moves ahead. Get in the game. Orrin Hudson. Brains before bullets. Think it out. Don't shoot it out. Orrin Hudson. I'm telling you, you love Orrin, man. He's a proud supporter of Little Jimmy and the things that we do in the community. Andrew Bonaparte. That is Martin Luther King. I'm telling you, that guy right there, man, he does the King speeches and he knows them by heart. And, man, he does it really energetic. Eddie Whitener. I know I can't say hi to you guys all day, but I love you guys dearly. Thank you for tuning in. But this is what I want to talk about today. It's been on my spirit. I listen to a lot of different things, and I'm listening to more so you guys. I follow social media. I follow it closely. And I do it for a reason, because one, it's very close to us. It's very accessible. We get a lot of our information from social media. This is why people like Donald Trump started with people like Barack Obama. This is why they went internet. Obama does get credit for bringing that internet social media dynamic to the presidency and to campaigning. It's a very instrumental tool in how we communicate. And so I'm getting in. I'm that guy that didn't get on MySpace right away because, the responsibility and accountability that I do in the community, I wanted to make sure it was a safe place because I'm drawing children to me. I'm drawing families toward me. So I thought it was a responsible thing to kind of see what it meant. So I was 3-4 years after MySpace, then I got on it when I thought it was safe. Same thing with Facebook and everything else. I have to assess the dynamic because I don't want to be bringing children and families into something that is dangerous to them and detrimental to them. So, saying all that, this social media dynamic is very, very big. It is now being personified at a whole nother level through Donald Trump. I would have never thought in my lifetime that I would hear a politician say, "You're going to get my response on Twitter." Come from a place, no, you got to come to my community and say something to me. You got to, at least at a minimum, be on TV so I can see the whites of your eyes. Now we don't have to see the whites of their eyes anymore. We're just waiting for their tweet. We're waiting for the response, and that has become the official record. It's very, very, very interestingly dumb in my account. This is why I like doing these videos, because I want you to see the whites of my eyes. I want you to feel me. I want you to see that I'm not scared. I'm not having some talking points. I'm not hiding behind a thumbnail. I'm not saying peekaboo, how you doing? I'm not doing all that kind of foolishness and stuff like that. I want you to see me. I want you to gauge the tone. I want you to feel me. I wish I could see you guys. But I do, because I invite you guys in. If you want to talk to me, I'll give you my phone number. You can call me. We can talk. But the point is that the social media thing is very, very interesting. And which provoked the thought. We say some of the most hideous things to people on social media. I think you can get away with it because I think you don't mind doing it because, it's nobody knows where you're at. There's no accountability from the standpoint of you saying something about somebody's mom or dogging somebody out, calling them a name. There's no consequence or repercussion from somebody being able to slap the stank out of you because of what you said to them on social media. You can hide. You can be more brave. You can be more brazen on social media because nobody can reach out and just touch you. You know, you can't have that kind of road rage possibility on social media, even though you're on the information highway. You know, it's going to take a lot of work for somebody to come and hold you accountable for the things that you say. It's going to take a lot of effort, a lot of different things to be able to do that. And so it brings me to my point. This political climate that we're in, I believe that this climate is because we've become massively lazy. We've become massively disconnected from the realities of humanity because of this social media. We've traded knowing actual physical addresses for IP addresses. And it creates some kind of disconnect. The social media has also created a kind of, I can create my own brand of utopia in social media. I can create a group and I can make the rules of this group, and then I can moderate the rules of this group, and I can kick people out of this group, and I can let people in this group. And you don't have no background check when you function in your SimCity version of your Facebook group or your social media group or your Twitter followers or something of that nature. There's no background check. All it takes for somebody to be in your group is to say something nice to you, almost like Donald Trump, say something nice to you or say something that you think lines up with your political thing and you let them in. The credibility on the social media is how many people are in your group. I'm part of groups that's got 20 and 30,000 people in there. That's a lot of people in a group. I'm in groups that only have 30 people in it. I'm in groups that got thousands upon thousands of people in their groups. And once you start doing that at that level, then there's a part of you that wants to maintain that level, that number in the group, because it's almost like it becomes too big to fail. Sound familiar? Almost becomes too big to fail. So you can name your group whatever you want to name it, and then people are going to come there, and if they just tell you, say for instance, you name your group conservative group. Then, of course, people that's conservative come in, but people that are not conservative, they can come in too. Because the litmus test is say something conservative. So they can come in. See, this is how a troll works. They can say anything. They can put any kind of thumbnail up there, ask to join your group, and they're in. They're in. That's all it takes. Now, the crux of why I'm here. Why am I talking about this? I wonder, because of the divisiveness of politics now, because of the laziness of the American people, now conservatives, libertarians, self-centered people, whatever, everybody seems to be counting on the government for everything. You're counting on the government to fix everything. To the point to now you latch onto your political figure, this politician. Now that you're counting on government to do stuff for you, you latch onto this politician. And this male or female is now the savior of everything that happens in your life. This politician, it has to be this politician. It has to be this president. It can't be that president. It can't be that person. It has to be this person. Now that politics is now the head of everything that you think, I've got this question. Do you ever think of the afterlife? Do you ever think of the afterlife? Now that politics is the head of your life, and this politician is the head of your life, do you ever think of the afterlife? Now, I know some of you Christian people want to think of the afterlife as far as God and this and that. That's an important part of it, but I want to take it here. Have you ever thought of the life after the president's gone? See, you support Donald Trump. You got to support him. Got to support Barack Obama. And so now how you interact on these SimCity social media groups is based on that you got to have this guy. So anybody come in with a different opinion, we forget about our constitutional right of dissent against the president. We forget about those kind of things. Those things in the Constitution, you know, your right to dissent against people in power. We forget about that and we dog out fellow Americans. And I'm just wondering, do you think of the afterlife? Do you ever think of where you're going to stand with your fellow Americans after this president's gone? After your politician's gone? See, because you got children, and your children are going to have children. See, do you ever think of life after you cussed out one of your fellow Americans on Facebook because of a politician? You ever think of that? Do you ever think of your afterlife? Or is it's justified to cuss out another American? It's justified to say some of the vile things that you say as long as you're protecting your politician. What about the afterlife? See, I prescribe to the notion that it's we the people, not them the politician. So since I think that way, I try my falling short, level-headed best to think about the afterlife of anything that I post talking to you. I try my best to be as cordial as I can, make my point, but also respect the fact that you have a point that may disagree with me. I think about the afterlife. So I don't want to ruin that relationship with you, especially for a politician that does not respond back to me on social media. They tell me what they want me to hear on social media. I don't want to put my life and my relationship with you in the hands of somebody who's creating a speech behind closed doors and can read a teleprompter. If you say this, they'll like this. If you say that, they'll like that. I don't want to put my relationship with you in the hands of somebody who is calculated politically. I don't want to do it. And it baffles me that you want to, and it just makes me wonder, do you think about the afterlife? See, these people aren't listening to us. The one that you're defending left and right, they're not listening to you. They're doing what they want to do. They're listening to them big money lining pockets. They're politically calculating everything. Is this good politics? Is this bad politics? They do this, and you are willing to put your relationship with another fellow American that you say that you're standing for. You'd rather put that relationship in jeopardy so you can protect this person that's politically maneuvering you and your vote and your family around like pieces on a game board. And after I see what's happened over the last 8, 10, 15 years of politics, the game that they're playing is sorry, while they make you think it's Candyland. I don't want our relationship to suffer because of this politician that does not want to talk to me, does not want to talk to you. They just want your vote. And they tell you what they think you want to hear. And look at how you treat each other. Do you think of the afterlife? After the politics is gone, after that person gets unelected, dies, or whatnot, do you think of what you left for your children? Do you ever think of the example that you set for your children? At the same time, you're complaining about the debt that these people are blowing up. They don't care. What do you say about the politics? My children's 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 future. Do you know what's going to solidify your children's future more than anything? We the people, not them the government. Do you ever think of that when you go to dogging somebody out on social media? Do you know that person that you're dogging out has a better chance of coming to your house and help you with your children than that politician that you're dogging them out for? You ever thought about that? Why are we putting our lives in the hands of politicians? especially as conservatives, we're supposed to know better. Aren't we supposed to be saving the liberal voter base? Or isn't this one of the things as conservatives always complain about? Liberal voters are always voting for their plantation owners, and the Democrat Party can say this and say this. I don't understand why they keep voting Democrat. I don't get that. Why do they keep doing that? They have them on a plantation. They keep them on welfare. Isn't this what we always complaining? They're always looking at government to do anything. But now we got conservatives on this freaking social media doing the same thing. Looking for your politician to do everything for you. I'm going to give you guys a heads up. There is somebody out there saying that I am viscerally attacking Ted Cruz, that I have some kind of visceral hatred for Ted Cruz. I'm not going to put my life in Ted Cruz's hands. I'm not going to do it. I don't have a visceral hatred for him, but I do have a visceral hatred for hypocrisy. And as long as you keep shoving Ted Cruz into the national conversation, you got to be able to take national criticism. I don't have a hatred for that man because I have an afterlife that I think about. Ted Cruz is not going to be there forever. But when he wants to poke his head into Phil, send me some funds, you got to be able to take some of Phil criticism or Phil accountability or whatever. You can't have your cake and eat it too. I heard this person say, well, the person running against Ted Cruz is receiving money from the nation. And so national, he's soliciting national funds. Okay. Criticize him nationally then. Oh, but you want our money, but you want us to shut up too. And the reason why we have to shut up is because we can't lose the seat. Interesting. Do you think of the afterlife? You're going to force your hypocrisy on me, accuse me of something that I do not do because I'm critical, and I'm doing what Ted Cruz said, hold him accountable. See, it was cool to say hold me accountable when it was a campaign speech, but it's not cool when we start holding him accountable. And now I have some kind of visceral hatred for the man. No, I don't have a visceral hatred for the man. I was loving the man when he decided to have politics outweigh what this orange Julius Caesar salad with Russian dressing said about his wife. It was politics that said, baby, you're going to have to take one for the team. But this is a Christian man that said my wife is before anything, but except for this political seat. The political maneuvering. I have a problem with that. And it's just not something just for Ted Cruz. But see, Mike Lee people are not trying to force Mike Lee down my throat to make me respond Mike Lee. Rand Paul people aren't trying to force Rand Paul down my throat to make me say something about Rand Paul. But now Ted Cruz people, on the other hand, it's something different happening. You keep him in the forefront of my thoughts, so that's the thing that pops out our mouth. Keep him in Texas. My vote does not count. It's voter fraud if I vote in Texas. But are you thinking of the afterlife? You are willing to dog another one of God's creatures. Cast aspersions on somebody that you do not know. For somebody that might not be there tomorrow. Would I like for Ted Cruz to win his seat over a Democrat? Let me think about this. See, this is the problem that I have with that can't be Hillary argument. See, if we had Hillary, us conservatives would be tighter than ever. We'd be tight like spandex. We would be tight. If we had a Democrat, we would not waver. We would be so close. But it shows, since we don't have a Democrat, we have somebody registered as a Republican. What it has showed is that magic letter R has exposed who we really are as Christians, who we really are as conservatives, who we really are when it comes to people's freedoms that we say we hold dear. See, this magic R on this flaming liberal has exposed who we really are. We would not have this exposition if we had Hillary. We still think Rush Limbaugh was the #1 conservative radio talk show host. We still think Mark Levin was still 100% conservative all the way down the line. We would have every single one of your favorite talking heads on Fox News. You would still think that they praise Jesus above anything. First Amendment, Second Amendment, all those things. You would still think they were against socialism if we had Hillary Clinton. We would not know that the very same people that you thought loved you dearly, that had the same morals and values you did, you would still think they had them if we had Hillary. So now ask yourself this question. Do you want to just protect the magical R and the mystical morals and values? That unicorn, I'm against abortion, that fantasy land thing, do you still want to protect that? Or do you want to see who you really support? Are you prepared to show who you really are? See, Donald Trump was a blessing. Donald Trump was a blessing. Because without Donald Trump, we would not know how fake all the people in our thumbnails in our groups, we would not know how fake they are when it comes to morals and values, Christ Jesus, the American principles, the Constitution, our fellow Americans, patriotism, our soldiers, our military. We would not know. We would still be living in some kind of la-la land. We would still think that this abortion thing being funded by our side was going to be fought tooth and nail. We still believe that our religious freedoms from our side is being fought for tooth and nail. We would still believe that Obamacare is going to get unfunded. We would still believe all this foolishness if we didn't have Donald Trump. Donald Trump showed how much you're protecting an R and how much you care about your afterlife. See, there's going to be a life after Donald Trump. And the people that's going to help you in your real Christian afterlife, you're willing to call them out their name and everything but a child of God for a politician. You guys ever give that any thought? Or does it matter? The dangerous thing is that you showed. I can go to church every day and somebody can talk me into an evil just by using the word lesser. Can't be Hillary. I'm glad it wasn't Hillary. I was never Trump and never Hillary. You know why I was never Trump and never Hillary? Because I was never liberalism. Everything that Hillary was, Trump was her backer. You guys have selected memory. You guys have selective amnesia. You Trump humpers and you so-called Cruz supporters, you guys have the selective amnesia. Don't put the visceral hatred tag on me because I'm sane and lucid and I'm not stuck behind some snort cocaine R that keeps me high is crazy and unrealistic. And paranoid, running around peeking through the mini blinds, wondering if Hillary's still coming. That's you guys, that ain't me. Why do I gotta be a hater? I didn't tell Ted Cruz to endorse that dude. Matter of fact, Ted Cruz led me to believe no matter what, he was gonna put Donald Trump in his place. That's what he led me to believe. But then his belief that he was leading me to believe only went so far. His seat. When his seat became threatened, he didn't care what the dude said about his daddy. He didn't care what the dude said about his wife. He didn't care what the dude said about his children. He cared about his seat. And because you want to push his state seat on me in Georgia, and I don't want to buy that pig in a poke, now I'm hating Ted Cruz? I'm not hating Ted Cruz. And I guarantee it, everybody that's holding Ted Cruz accountable for you people in Texas, They would love to have the 23-hour on the Senate floor Ted Cruz. They would love to have the Donald Trump is going to sell you out the first chance he get Ted Cruz. They would love to have that Ted Cruz. Say something about my wife and I'm going to whoop your tail Ted Cruz. They would love to have him, but they don't anymore. Think about your afterlife, people, before you keep pushing your politician on the rest of the nation. I know what I would like to have. Guess what? It's past Ted Cruz now. If anything, just like I use Donald Trump to point out to the young people I mentor, how power hungry and narcissistic and all that kind of stuff can really mess you up, especially when it comes to your relationship with other people. Make it difficult for you to be able to accept criticism, using all the levers of the government and more so the bully pulpit to call everything that doesn't agree with him fake. Fake talk show host that you thought was principled that you voted for before, Herman Shuckaducky. You know, I'm listening to this dude on the radio. What is he? He's the biggest hypocrite I ever seen. He's got a commercial running out in our market, you know, because Herman Cain's here. He shrunk from like 60,000 people down. But him, in the market, he's going like this. Nancy Pelosi can stand up there for 8 hours and show a sound clip of Nancy Pelosi talking about how she made history since 1909, being able to speak. Nancy Pelosi can stand up there for 8 hours and make history, but she can't stand up 8 seconds for this president. That freaking hypocrite. Because why? Because you guys won't hold him accountable for when the Republicans sit down on Barack Obama. But since you don't like Barack Obama, it's okay for Republicans to sit down when they don't want to endorse something that he said. But you freaking hypocrites, not thinking about the afterlife, can't even apply that same standard to yourself and keep listening to this dude and supporting him while he's snow jobbing you. I'm going to keep it honest. I'm not tripping on the Democrats not standing up. Just like I wasn't tripping on the Republicans not standing up. But the thing I am tripping on is when we, the people, get further and further apart because of them, the government. That concerns me. Why? Because the afterlife in politics means it's still going to be us. And how we treat us, despite politics, is how God's going to treat us in that afterlife. See, it's a chain. Are you going to be that Christian that gets up there with God and says, I casted votes in your name. I casted out Democrats in your name. And then God give you that answer? You worker of iniquity, I do not know you, part from me. See, there's afterlives in stages. After politics and after you die. I used to say this on my thing and I'm going to start saying it again at the end of all my shows. First of all, let me tell you, got something big. I'm going to need you. Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry about that. Technical glitch. But I'm back. I'm going to finish up this thing. I'm not going to be long. Not going to be long. If you guys were able to make it back, cool. My bad. Just technical things. But where was I at? If you guys want to put me in the category of hating Ted Cruz, taking the lazy, easy road of hating Ted Cruz, it's easy for you to say why, because I'm not agreeing or I'm critical. See, you're showing that you are no different than the laziness of Donald Trump's conservatism, because it's non-existent. When you start turning criticism into hate, there's something wrong with you. You're not thinking about the afterlife. You are that kind of person. If Jesus Christ was here right now, you guys would label him a hater. You would hit him with rocks and stones. I'm not saying I'm here to save your soul, but how you treat me and how I treat you is what's going to be the testament to our souls. That's going to be the testament of our afterlife. So if you want to put me in as a category of a hater, that's your laziness. That's your fault. You carry that burden. I'm not a hater. I'm a person that's seeing the lack of accountability is what's got us here. The lack of holding your politician accountable for the stuff that they formulated in a stump speech and said to you for your vote. That's the problem. Don't make me a hater. I love my fellow Americans. That's why I put my butt out here on the line all the time, to be honest with you and share the truth about Jesus Christ, the best I know. I love every single one of you. Just look at when I disagree. Look at when we disagree. How do I approach you? I approach you lucid. It's not that everybody should do that, but look, give me credit for what I do. And if you want to call me a hater, I didn't tell Cruz to flip-flop on anything. I point out flip-flops. Don't make me a hater. Don't make me a hater. Why don't you make yourself a worshiper before you want to make me a hater? Make yourself a worshiper. I'll admit I'm a cult when it comes to Jesus. But not no Jim Jones cult to where you're going to get me to drink some poison Kool-Aid and I'm going to lay my butt out in Ghana somewhere. Ain't going to happen. At the end of the day, my afterlife with you is what's going to help me with my afterlife with Jesus. So what do I do with the life that I have now? I protect life, unwavering. I mentor to life. I feed into life, unwavering. I prescribe to being a black life that matters versus getting tricked into being a black life matters. Like it's the only thing. No. I share the love of the Lord with you, with the encouragement that you find the love of the Lord for yourself, that you can see that your love of the Lord is more so filtered through your politics than your politics filtered through the love of the Lord. I keep it real with you, 100. Not for you to all agree with me. I love the ones that these hearts and stuff going across here. I love them. I love the sad faces too. I love the angry faces. Because why? My words are for provoking some kind of response. That's a blessing. That's a gift. My pastor, Jimmy A. Copeland, says, Phil, God has did this. You have not only my pastor and his church in my hands, I have you in my hands too. Not that I'm God or anything, but how I have you in my hands is going to show how God looks at me when it's that time. Think about the afterlife, people. Think about the afterlife. After this politician is gone, wins, loses, where do you stand with people? Where do you stand? While you're cussing somebody out on social media because you don't agree or something of that nature, where do you stand with that same American? Think about the afterlife, people. Politics is not everything, but we are. And we do have a political dynamic we have to deal with. And if we could just hold these jokers accountable, just hold them accountable. You don't have to put more on them or less on. Just hold them accountable to what they said. Don't try to spin another American because your guy got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. When there's a moral equivalent, funding for hurricane, funding for people to kill babies. Come on, man. The government shouldn't be funding hurricane relief in the first place. The American people are the most generous people on the earth. The churches, we should come together and help with hurricane relief, not counting on the government. They're disconnected from us. We have become some pawn pieces in their big old scheme of power. Hurricane relief should be us. It shouldn't be the government. Right now, a rainstorm will come through and I'm going to watch conservatives cry to Governor Deal. Oh my God, Governor Deal, can I go home from work? Governor Deal, he said, no, we can't leave work until 4:30, and so our kids are going to be stranded at school until the government tells us I can go home. Instead of common sense is about to snow, ice storm, go home. Matter of fact, keep your kids home. Stay in a safe place. But no, you're going to wait for the government to tell you what you got to do. God creates a storm, comes through, and now you got to put government as the person that cleans it up. You can do all things through Christ Jesus. That means you can clean up your own storm. And you can have a better relationship with your neighbors, so grab a shovel and some rakes and stuff and help you clean up the storm. You can have a better relationship with people here in Atlanta, so when Texas has a problem, people in Atlanta will caravan down to Texas and help. We don't count on the government so they can use us as some political dangling pieces. Make the government focus on our taxpayer dollars not going to chopping up kids' body parts and selling them for Lamborghinis and vacations. And $500 salads and $6,000 haircuts. Make sure the baby's body parts are not going to that foolishness. We'll handle the hurricane relief. Come on, people. We're asking the government to do way too much for us. And since that's where you're going to ask for all your help, look at how many people you're willing to hurt and run over and dog out in your little Sim City Utopia Facebook group or Twitter account. Because they are critical against your government angel. Jesus came, and that's why they killed him. Because Jesus was saying the same things that I'm sharing with you now. We the people, not them the government. Can't get this video to go viral at all. But I bet you if I was on this joker cussing, calling people MFs and stuff like this, then you'll want to share it. Why? Because I inserted a bunch of foolishness in it. Come on, people. Can you make positivity go viral? There's enough of us. The afterlife. Where's your afterlife going to be? Your life after this political thing changes and shifts, but more so how you treat other human beings in your afterlife with Christ. God, Buddha, Allah, whoever. Come on, man. We all we got. We was here before there was a Ted Cruz, Mike Lee, Rand Paul, Donald Trump, Barack Obama, George Bush, Bill Clinton. We was here. There's going to be people this year after that. We are in a political climate where they're not listening to us. They don't care about your baby having to pay their debt. See, don't forget now, when the government provides hurricane relief, a child that hasn't even been born has to pay that tab. But you want the government to do it because you think you get to keep more of your money and you ain't got to do it. But that's the nature of how we go to heaven. What you do with your stuff. How you feel about your fellow American, fellow human being. Not filtered through how the government is going to support you if you feel a certain way. And I know after saying all this and the Ted Cruz, people going to think I'm hating and everything like this. It's going to be difficult for me to ask you to support something positive. I'm an actual functioning Christian conservative, putting my money where my mouth is, actually doing something for fellow Americans and our children and our children's children, planting seeds of righteousness and godliness. And it's like I'm pulling freaking teeth to get some support. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. It just means it's going to take it longer. God has blessed us not with a shortcut, but he blessed us with a anointed quick way. Just go to Amazon, buy Little Jimmy's book. I was being told, but nothing about my dreams. This is something our children need to hear because they're being told all kinds of stuff. It has nothing to do with their dreams. It has nothing to do with their promises. It has nothing to do with the destiny that God has for them. That's what your children are hearing. And that book is right there to encourage them and give a solution. The people, the adults that have read it said, wow, Phil, that speaks to me as an adult. It's on Amazon. Look up I Was Being Told. Get the book. Hold my pastor accountable. He said he's going to give a book to a foster child for every book you buy. Make that man give away 1 million books. Hold us accountable. Support Little Jimmy's Always Positive tablets and teddy bears. We're giving brand new computer tablets as a Christian, as a conservative, not as a government official. We can do this. Just support it. Support the opioid crisis that we're addressing through Jacob's Ladder. Prevent our young people from only having drug dealers and drug users singing and rapping to them. Support it. Don't wait for the government to do it. Why? Because the government has to provide a whole bunch of other campaign promises. Don't forget we have the opioid crisis under the politician that you elected. It's a crisis. I'm an American going to do something about it. I am that black conservative. I hate to use the word black, but just for conversational purposes. I'm that black conservative that you guys wish all the other liberal blacks could be. And I go out there and I flip those liberals. Support it. Because guess what? It hasn't worked for you this far. Why? Because you're not concerned about the afterlife. You're only concerned about what you can get right now. Politicians know it. So they give you some BS right now and get you to go out there and BS somebody else right now and protect their seats right now. Again, kicking the moral and value can down the road. I'm not going to kick that can. Mustard Seed Faith, my pastor, Jimmy A. Copeland, my church family, the people that's already supported. I would start naming names for you guys, but man, I don't have all your names. I don't want to leave nobody out. We can't kick this moral and value can down the road any further. Because why? You and your children are being trained to protect the right now. That's why they wait till the last minute with the budgets. That's why Donald Trump spends all that time tweeting about foolishness. And Mitch McConnell responding to foolishness and creating foolishness. Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Paul Ryan, and then wait till the last minute. They turned us into last minute people, and we'll go for that foolishness. They'll keep Planned Parenthood funded because why? We got to fund hurricane relief at the last minute. So body parts keep getting chopped up. Come on, people. I don't know what more I can say. I'm going to keep saying it, though. Don't make me a hater. Just own up to the fact that you're lazy. And you got your right now politician. Hey, just my opinion. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Go to liljimmy.djpaz.jimdo.com. You can make a tax-deductible donation through our organization, Men on Point. Men on Point from Minister Stanley Howard and our men's group. Basically doing the things to get men on point. Isn't that what we complain about? The liberal voter base, the men are on point. Now, so I'm doing something about it. Can you support it? I'm telling you, it's far cheaper to support real action like what I'm doing than it is to keep giving up to $2,500 to your favorite politician to sell you short. We don't need the government's permission to do these things. We don't. And I prove it to you daily. I love you guys with everything I have. I even love the ones that call me a hater. I just think that you're a little off base because I'm not a cheerleader. We the people, not them the government. Because I'm concerned about my afterlife. What about you? Let's no longer kick the moral and value can down the road. Let's pick it up and let's get it to our children because that's the future that matters. Hey, I'm Phil Williams. I'm going to start ending my show. I used to do my radio show like this. I'm going to start ending this show like this too. We may have come here on two separate ships, but we're all in the same boat now. And it takes both the black and white keys on the piano to play the Star Spangled Banner. So peace, love, together forever. Don't worry, be happy and feel that energy. And remember what you are is God's gift to you. What you do with yourself is your gift to God. Only one life will be passed, but only what's done while you here will last. We were blessed before we had color. So engage your mind and answer one question. Is it we the people or them the government? hey, think about your afterlife, especially when it comes to politics. Love you guys. Support us, share it, go to Phil Williams Show and like the page. Hey, God bless you.